Welcome to To Day Rae with me, your girl Ray Ray. So today was my post-op 6-month appointment. 6 months since I've had my surgery. It's been a wild and crazy ride. I know I haven't done an update in a little while. So I figured today I'll tell you where I am, and I'm going to insert some pictures from my body scan, and they actually resent my other body scan from right before surgery. So I'm going to put all them in, and you can see them. I'll probably put them in later in at the end of the video so you can see the difference. But let's talk. So these past couple weeks, or I don't even remember when the last update I did. I have to look at my playlist. So what's been going on? So one of the main things, other than the whole mental aspect of it, which aspect of it is, it's really been like messing with me, if that's like, I feel better today though, after talking with my doctor. I feel so much better. I was talking to her, and she had asked me, she had told me, she's like, Ray, your blood work is absolutely phenomenal. My cholesterol's good. She's like, this is great. Look at the decline of this. She's like, everything is really, really good. Sorry, my cat is being freaking obnoxious today. She will not leave me alone. She has not left me alone all day since I've gotten home. So she's like, all your blood work is phenomenal considering where you were to where you are now. She's like, you should be proud of that. And I told her, and I said, I am, but I said, I just feel like I'm not where I should be with my weight loss. And she's like, well, where do you think you should be? And I told her, I said, I see people in the group, and because as I said before, there's a group that just all the patients who've had the surgery, who start their journey, things like that. I said, I've seen people post who are 6 months out and they've lost way more weight than I have. And she's like, but where did they start from? And I was just like, well, I don't know. And she's like, everybody's journey. She's like, you will destroy your own success comparing yours to other people. She's like, stay out of the group. She's like, this is my official diagnosis and my official, what did she say? I forget what she said, but she was like, stay out of the Facebook group. She's like, cause you're just going to destroy yourself. She's like, if you keep comparing. And I told her, I said, well, my one friend, she's always like, well, I don't understand this, or I don't understand that. I showed her my bariatric app because I log my food, and I log this and I log that, and my Apple Watch is hooked up to it, and it shows my sleep and this, and we went through everything, and she's just like, you could use more sleep. And I said, yeah, well, I don't, she's like, but not everybody needs 8 hours of sleep. She's like, but you could use some more sleep. She was like, cause that helps greatly, but I'm getting 5 to 6 hours average a night. And she says, but not everybody needs 8 hours of sleep, because I usually wake up on my own. Like last night I went to bed, I think at 1 o'clock, and I woke up at 6 on my own. Like that was just on my own, without alarms, and I was fully awake. And I didn't go back to sleep or anything. So she was just like, just stay out of the group. Stop comparing. She's like, if you had only lost a little bit of weight, but by your 6-month appointment, because like what I like is they don't give you a goal weight. You can make a goal weight if you want, but they don't give you a goal weight. She said, but you've lost 70 pounds since August. She said, that's almost, look at it like this, that's almost 100 pounds. She was like, everybody carries their weight differently. She's like, you may not feel it or you may not see it. She's like, but you've lost 70 pounds. She's like, that's amazing. So I was like, okay, but I did talk to her, and I did tell her that I was having, so this is another thing that's been going on, is hair loss. I have started the hair loss. I know they say it usually starts between month, or a little bit after months 4 to 6. You could see some people don't get it, some people do. I don't have a significant amount of hair loss, but I do have hair loss. I noticed it a couple weeks ago. I was taking a shower, and as I was washing my hair and I was like going like this and pulling it, there was just a massive clump of hair in my hand, and I was like, oh my God, you know. And then I kept running my hands through my hair, and I was just pulling it out like it was nothing. And I've done that before, but it's only been a little bit, you know. But it was just massive. Like, I've never seen this much hair come out of my head before. And I was like, I was putting it on the wall of the shower. I did clean it up, but I was putting it like just to visually look and see. I've noticed how my hairbrushes are getting caked with hair. I've also noticed that my hair, when I don't have my hair tie on me, but when I take my hair ties out, there's like knots of hair and everything, like where I've never had this or experienced this before. And so I was like, oh my gosh. I notice now, like sometimes I'm like, oh, there's, you know, I'll have like all this hair, like I'll brush my hair and I have all this hair down the front of me that's not cat hair. You know what I'm saying? So that's been kind of like, But see, the thing is, like, I knew it could possibly happen. So believe it or not, that doesn't actually bother me because my hair is super thick, so it doesn't really bother me, but it does. Sometimes it's like, oh my God, you know, like, when is it going to stop? Is it going to end? Like, I don't know. So, but yeah, so we talked about my diet. She said she has no issues with my diet. I can start carbs if I want to, but I told her I prefer not to, and she said that's fine. She's like, you're on the right track. Again, no more than a cup and a half of food at a time, which is basically what I eat. Of course, fluids. She said that she was so happy and so thrilled for my progress. She said, for me, she said I'm definitely on the right track, because she's like, that's almost 70 pounds. She said, I'm definitely on the right track, and to keep going and to keep doing what I'm doing and stuff like that. 2 things that I have to do is I have to make an appointment with my primary care doctor, because my blood pressure was kind of low. It was 110/50 something. And she had asked me, she's like, did you take your blood pressure medicine this morning? And I said, yes. And she's like, you might want to make an appointment with your primary care. And she's like, I think it's time for you to start weaning off of it and start coming off of it. And I was like, okay, cool. And then she said, so because the thyroid medicine, sorry, I just heard something. Because of my thyroid, I've been having issues with my thyroid medicine. It has been making me extremely exhausted. She said that I should probably get it checked again, even though, and it's weird because it was on the high side versus the low side. And because I am taking thyroid medicine, she's like, that could actually be, she's like, you might not need it. You might just need a very low dosage. She's like, get your T3 and your T4. They just checked the TSH. She said you need your T3 and T4 checked and whatever other blood work. She said, but your endocrinologist will have better results with that. So I was like, okay. So I do have to make that appointment. So endocrinologist and my primary care. So I need to make those 2 appointments just to get off the blood pressure medicine and to talk to my endocrinologist. So I have those 2 things to do. But like I said, other than that, she is so super pleased. I was 258. Well, so here's the thing. I was 258 this morning when I woke up. When I got to the doctor's office 2-3 hours later, after I drank and had my protein shake, I was like 264, I think it was. And I was like, no, this morning I was 258. And she's like, well, take your boots off. And then it went down to like 262. And I'm like, and she's like, it's probably just from your shake and from your breakfast. You know, you do retain water after a while. And I was like, I knew I shouldn't have had my protein shake this morning. And she was just laughing at me. And I was just like, oh. I was like, but I was 258. And I eat because I took a picture of it and I showed it to her. She's like, we'll put in she's like, we'll just put in, What else? Oh, so I talked to her about my ENT. And she basically told me, she's like, in all the time that I have been in this office and this practice, I have never had a patient say that they needed a note and an explanation why they cannot have certain medications. She's like, I've never experienced this. And I said, hey, I'm just telling you what the doctor wanted. And she was like, oh my gosh. She's like, really? She questioned. And I said, yeah. And then I did ask her if I could take the antibiotic that she prescribed. She said yes. I told her about the nasal spray and like how bad of a reaction I had with it. She said, do not ever take it again. She said, if it made your stomach upset, she's like, then you cannot have it. And then she was also explaining to me, of course, the reasons why I can't have ibuprofen and why. She's like, it's just not worth it. She's like, there's going to be certain situations where you cannot avoid where you have to take ibuprofen or steroid, but she said it has to be for super short-term use. And she's like, but it just is not worth it. She's like, it's just not worth it. She's like, it can cause lesions in your stomach. It could cause bleeding. It could cause this. It can cause that. She says, there's just so many reasons why you can't have it. So the other thing I talked to her about is like, should I actually be feeling hungry? And I said, because we were talking, and I said, I know in one of the classes that I took, it says that, or it's explained how when your stomach is cut, how the nerve from, excuse me, I'm yawning, how the nerve in your belly that sends messages and signals to your brain is severed. And that's how you don't know that you're hungry. And I usually always say my kind of hungry. And I told her, I said, but I get hungry feelings. I said, I feel like I'm hungry, but it's a different kind of growl. Like it's a different kind of hungry. I said, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like I get hungry. And then I'm like, is it just a mind thing? Do I eat? Do I not eat? I said, do I just nibble on something? And she's just like, it's normal. People get hungry. Your stomach will growl. And then I said to her, I said, but how if that part to your brain is severed? And she says, everybody's vein is not in the same place in their stomach. She's like, yours might not have been. She's like, it could still be in the pouch. She's like, everybody, the vein or the whatever, the nerve, the signal is in a different space in everybody's stomach. She said, yours just might not be severed. And I was like, oh, okay. She's like, it's like a thumbprint. Nobody's stomach is the same. Nobody's fingerprint is the same. Like everybody is different. And I was like, I get it, but So she's like, if you're hungry, eat. Because she said that once she was going through my chart, she's like, the only thing I'm worried about is that you're not eating enough. And I'm like, really? She said, you should only eat a cup and a half. She says, no more than a cup and a half of food at a time. She's like, however, she was like, I don't think you're eating enough. And I was like, and see, I think the opposite. I sometimes think I eat too much and then I don't eat, She's like, no, please eat. She's like, you need your protein. She's like, you need calories to burn calories. She's like, your carbs are fine. And then I told her, I said, my guilty pleasure, other than the sugar-free Russell Stovers, which I have like one here or there, or my sugar-free chocolate milk, is banana chips and pineapple, like the dried pineapples. I said, but I can't eat no more than like one or two at a time because it hurts my stomach. And she's like, those are good. She's like, I don't care that you eat those. She's like, you know what you can have? I said, and that's where my carbs come from. She's like, but they're different kinds of carbs. She was like, you can have them. She's like, I don't care that you eat them. She's like, eat them, please. She's like, they're good for you. She's like, it's got fiber, it's got potassium, it's got this, it's got that. So I was like, okay, But yeah, so my appointment went great. She's happy. I got my body scan. I can't wait till you guys see this. If you want to see it, it'll be at the end of the video. I'm going to have the one from the before and after, or before and current. Okay, sorry about that. I had to adjust. The sun's like going in and out, and I had to adjust myself. Excuse me. So one thing that I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit with like the whole mental and even like the physical aspects. So one of the things I did discuss with my doctor, and she is documenting, one of my biggest things right now that I'm having a hard time dealing with is with the excess skin. My biggest part, and I don't know if you guys have heard me talk about this, is my arms. As you guys can see, like all this is flabby skin. I will show you guys. This is like my arm is up here. There, this is all. Now my arms, as you guys know, have always been big. You guys know that. I've lost quite a bit of weight in my arms. And this bothers me a lot. Like from here and all that. Now, one thing with this is that I have gotten a rash. I've gotten actually a few rashes from the skin. It just was the type of shirt maybe that I was wearing. But as prior, I didn't have that issue before. But where the sweater was and where because I don't wear bras, I just wear sports bras. I mean, I have a sports bra on now. But I don't wear bras anymore because some of the skin causes them to roll. These are a little bit more supportive. They help hold me up a little bit more. So they kind of like, they don't roll. Some of my sports bras do. It's just like where everything, like where the skin's like hanging or whatever. I do want to get, because they call these bat wings, I do want to get the excess skin surgery. Of course, I have to wait. I forget how many months, but I do have to wait a while before I can get that. I will document the whole process and everything too, but they are documenting any kind of health issues that these may cause. I told her when I lift up my arm, I can feel the weight of this pulling down on me. I'm very self-conscious about it. I was always self-conscious about my arms before. Like, I would always wear kimonos or something to hide my arms. I never wore tank tops in public because, and this is when I was big, because of my arms. I've always been so self-conscious about it. So that's my phone. I've always been so very self-conscious about it. And like when I move my arm a certain way, I feel like, so if I move my arm like that, you see it swaying. Like it bothers me so bad. And I'm like, here we got spring coming up and they don't, like, I don't understand what plus size clothing, like why they don't make more like longer sleeve shirts. Like everything's always tanks, and then I gotta find a short sleeve cardigan, or I have to find this, or I have to find things to wear over top of it, and it's like frustrating. But yeah, I'm very, like, I have gotten a couple rashes, so she did document it. Another thing, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I have gotten several boils on my thighs and like towards my butt crack. Not my butt crack, but like where on the butt, but where it meets like the top of your thigh, like I don't know, like the bottom of your butt. I've gotten quite a few of them. I've gotten one or two where you can physically look in the mirror and see where the skin is like all wrinkly, like all the excess skin. I've lost a tremendous amount of weight in my thighs. So there's like a lot of excess skin there. And I have gotten several boils. And because I talked to my doctor about it, because I have one that's on the back of my thigh. And I told her, I said I couldn't even, like, I was like literally pulling the skin trying to bust this boil because it hurt so bad I couldn't sit. It was just so big and painful. And I was like, I can't. Very uncomfortable. And she said, unfortunately, it's common. It is common. Some women get them, and because of the skin folds and things like that, and the way that the skin ripples and stuff like that. So I have gotten several boils On my legs, I did have a small one under my underarm, but it was more, I get more of a rash from my underarms, from the skin. I've gotten the boils and the pimples and things like that, on my inner thighs and the back of my thighs. I'm going to tell you how it is. So that's been some of the issues. I talked about my hair loss. So the boils, the excess skin, the skin on my belly doesn't bother me. I'm still looking for body shapers and just something to kind of smooth me out. I don't want it to make me have an hourglass figure. I don't want a corset or anything like that. I just want something to kind of not make it so jiggly. And not really so much in my thighs, but just in my belly region, and just to kind of smooth everything all out. That's all I've ever wanted. I did buy one at TJ Maxx, but however, it rolls down the back and then the front rolls. So I'm like, ugh. So now I'm just looking for maybe like a tank top to pull down that will come down to at least where my jeans are, and I could tuck it in my jeans and everything will be smooth. So I'm looking for a body shaper for that. My OCD, I swear, is still getting worse since surgery. So I'm still having OCD issues. I don't know why since surgery it's so bad, but it is. What else is there? Of course, so I don't want to make this sound like an inconvenience, because I tell myself all the time when it comes to clothes, and I think a lot of people still have when they get weight loss surgery, it becomes like an issue. And I try to tell myself, Ray, I'm still trying, I'm having a hard time transitioning to the next size down, if that makes any sense. So I have a haul coming up, a clothing haul, just some shirts. I know this brand, and I'm really looking forward to doing this haul, but I know this brand, and I know this brand is cut small. I bought all the shirts in a 3X, I think, except for one, but all the rest of them are 3s. And I was telling my husband, he's like, why'd you buy all 3s? And I was like, because they're cut small. I know this brand's cut small. But then I sit there and I think, and I'm like, I've lost 70 pounds and I've lost all these inches. Why am I still buying 3X? But then it's like, I go in my closet and there's clothes that when I was at my biggest at 340 something, well, my biggest was 389. But when I started my weight loss journey, I was 346, because I just got that weight today. Right when I first started this journey with my program, was 346. I still have the clothes that I wore at 346. And I'm like, they're all dresses on me now. And it's like, I could still wear these. I could just put a belt, which I do need to get some belts. But I could make it a baby doll top, or I could do this, or I could do that. But it's like, why am I still wearing these? I can't part with some of these clothes. And it's just like, I wore them at my biggest. And it's just like, but why? And then it's like, I still buy clothes. Like when I go to Burlington, I can actually go to Burlington now and buy clothes. I can go to TJ Maxx and find the clothes. But it's still in my brain because I still have to buy 3X because they're cut small. But then it's like, I gotta tell myself, Ray, would you rather go to a store and find clothes than go to a store and not be able to find anything that fits you? Even if it's a 3X, it would be cut small and you couldn't even fit into it. And some of the stuff are 2Xs and I can fit into it. But it's like, I'm still having a hard time transitioning. To me, my 3Xs, some are baggy and some are fitting me the way I like them to. Because they're nice and long now. A lot of my shirts are really long. And y'all know I like long shirts. That's what I complain about. But my husband told me the other day, he's like, because I had on this shirt, and I'm like, oh, it's too short. And he's like, Rae, you look fine. I'm like, no, my belly, you know. And like, I have sweaters. Ow! I have sweaters that are big, wide, but not long. And I still won't wear it because to me, it's still too small. And they're like a 26, 28. But I'm like, no, the shirt's too short. I can't wear it. So it sounds like a trivial thing, but it's a struggle. And like I said, I keep trying, and I'm not trying to brag like, oh, I can't transit. I'm not trying to brag. This is just something that I'm going through, you know, like I still can't see myself as the smaller version of me. I look at the body scan, I see a significant difference. But when I look in the mirror, I don't see it. So yeah, I've had people tell me, you need to wear clothes that fit you. Like one day I wore this shirt to work, and the teacher I work with, she's like, it's not that the shirt doesn't look bad, but she's like, it's really big on you. She's like, maybe if you had a belt. And I was like, yeah, maybe, you know. So I do need to invest in some belts. I did find some elastic belts. But like, I don't, it's just, it's weird. And it can be frustrating because, like, I'm in size 22 jeans from Old Navy, but when I went to Ross and bought 22 pairs of jeans, they were tight. That's why I was like, I wish clothing, excuse me, clothing brands would get on the same page. I really do, and just have one universal size for this size, this size, this size, so that way no matter what brand we go to, we know what size we are. It's like, this one's got to be cut different, and this one's got to be cut for that one, and this one's got to be cut for that one. It's like, oh my gosh, you know, why are there all these different sizes? But yeah, so I'm just having a hard time with clothes. I don't know what my son is doing right now. I'm having a hard time with my clothes. My rings all, like, if you notice, I'm not wearing my wedding ring or this. So my son's ring birthstone is here, and my husband's birthstone wedding ring is here. They're too big. This ring I'm gonna have to move over here because now that is too big. I don't have any rings on this hand anymore except for this one, and this one's getting too big. And then my bracelet, I've had this bracelet since I was 15. Do you see how long it is? Like, I can literally, I've never been able to do this before. Never. I could take it right off. I can literally take it right off and put it right back on. And this would almost fit around my ankle. Like, who would have ever thought in a million? I've had this since I was 15. That just goes to show how big I've always been. I've always been big. When I was in middle school, going like in my freshman year in high school, I was at 18, 20. And then I was like a 22, 24, 26 all through high school and all through my adulthood, you know? So I've always been big. And then the one time I lost a lot of weight, I got down to a 22 to what I am now. But it didn't last long because then I got pregnant. And that was the end of that. But that's not going to happen this time. But yeah, so I don't know. It's just crazy. I'm still just having a hard time processing things sometimes. Like I said, I look in the mirror and I don't see what I see on paper, you know. As far as food struggles, I really haven't been struggling too much. There are some times where I just want to take a bite of something, but I don't like, nope, I've come too far. I don't want to do that. And it's not so much with like cakes and frostings or anything like that. It's like fried chicken. Now, with my friend, we went to her grandmother's memorial, and after the memorial, they had a lunch. Well, it was, I think, all her grandmother's favorite food. I think it was like fried chicken. I'm not much of a ham person. I probably could have ate a piece of ham. But there was fried chicken and macaroni and cheese and corn and some of the sweetest smelling bread and biscuits, like homemade baked bread and biscuits and pasta salad and this salad, like all pasta and noodles and all this delicious, like they had beans and then they had this and they had that, and I'm like, The only thing I ate, I'm like, thank goodness I took a protein bar. And I ate 2 deviled eggs, which would have been like 1 whole egg. And I was like, that's all. And then like my girlfriend, she was like, oh, can you eat any of this? I was like, no. I was like, well, there's a boiled egg down there. Because I didn't want to eat salad and stuff because it's not protein. It's not substantial. It was all lettuce. And then I didn't like any of the salad dressings anyway. But yeah, so things like that make things hard because they're like, oh, can you eat this? Can you have this? Can you have that? And then some, like last night making dinner, you know, my husband and them had chicken nuggets and stuff. My son had oodles and noodles. I had my pepperoni. That was it, you know. But sometimes like they'll cook things and it's like, I want it, but I've come so far and I am not going back. So I just kind of, you know, I avoid it at all costs. I have my alternative options, and so that's what I try to stick with. But my doctor, like I said, she said I'm doing really good, and she's proud of me, and she, you know, says I'm on the right track. So I'm happy. I feel so much better since my appointment, but I feel really, really good. Just gotta get this thyroid situation under wraps and the blood pressure stuff under wraps. And like I said, she doesn't think that I even have high blood pressure anymore, and that probably I should come off of the blood pressure medicine. So she wants me to talk to my doctor, or at least have the blood pressure medicine lowered. So we'll see. But I think this video is pretty long, so I'm gonna wrap this video up. Thank you guys so much for watching and following me along on my journey with my weight loss. If anybody out there is thinking of getting the surgery or has had the surgery and wants to talk to me, please, I always have all my links down in the description box below. I have a Facebook page, I have an Instagram. Please feel free to send me a message. I get emails all the time. I actually talk to some people who don't like to actually post in the comments like publicly, but I've gotten emails, I've gotten direct messages on Instagram, on Facebook. So please feel free to message me or anything. My lines are open. I don't mind talking about my surgery. If you have any questions or concerns, if you're thinking about it, you know, I'm just documenting mine and what I'm going through and how I'm dealing with it with some things that's been happening. But yeah, 70 pounds in 6 months. Crazy. But yeah, so I'm going to insert my body scan pictures and I'm going to show you guys, show you that, and then do like side by side so that way you guys can like see the whole thing. But yeah, craziness. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for following me along on my journey through this crazy ride called life. My 40th birthday is coming up this year. It will be in June. I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate it, with a new life, new part of my life, new chapter of my life as a new me, basically. So yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video, following me. Like I said, if anybody out there who wants to talk to me about my journey or share their journey, please feel free to message me, email me. I don't mind at all. So yeah. All right, guys, thank you for watching, and remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and also remember to please be kind, because you don't know what kind of battle someone's going through, so don't be a dick. All right, guys, I love you so much. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.